So Paige, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's great to have you here on the podcast. So Paige, I've been following your journeys from about a year ago. You started out on Instagram, AI for Mums. I looked back recently and you have over 28,000 followers. I know there's other channels that you're working at the moment. So just tell us a bit about the journey and what you've been doing.
So combined 40K across all different platforms, which
Wow.
is amazing, which I never thought when I started that it would
All
get
in
to
one
that
year?
point. Yeah, within the year. So I started, before I went on maternity leave, I was actually in marketing operations and was looking at all things AI from a business perspective and was trying to work at a scale up. So limited budgets, limited resource, but trying to do a lot. So we were looking at how AI could help.
Yeah.
And then before I shut my laptop to go on maternity leave, the last thing I did was write the AI policy for marketing. So I had AI already bubbling away. But it was when I had my daughter, I then had a newborn with severe colic, which I spent ages
Nightmare.
online looking at what I could do to help her. Never heard of colic before. It was a whole new thing for me.
Yeah.
And then during the night feeds, while I was searching for answers and also just trying to keep myself awake during those feeds, I kept seeing more and more content about how AI could be great for businesses and really make your business more efficient and save you time. And I was thinking, this actually would be perfect for mums. Why is no one talking about it for mums? And that's really where it started. I put into ChatGPT, tell me everything you know about colic, summarize everything, and things that have taken me weeks to find, ChatGPT came back in seconds.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you just started posting about your experience and then it just kind of snowballed?
So I obviously found all the answers, and it just every time I used AI, it helped me more.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share with other mums, like, you could be doing this. You could be helping yourself. So I started by telling my mum friends in person. And then when I realized like no one else was talking about it online of how it could be useful for mums, I thought, I'm going to start talking about it. And as soon as I did, the following just grew and the community was just kept building, and I kept getting so many.
There's more encouragement.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And people loved the prompts I was sharing and the real practical tips. Exactly. And I think because it's coming from a mum, it's resonating with other mums of this is what I'm doing to help me in my situation, and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I haven't got enough time. And these are some of the things that I'm using AI for. So other mums are like, okay, yeah, I'm going to try that too. Or they may be dabbling with it.
Yeah.
But then they just jumped on it.
It's that sense of like being overwhelmed as a mother, like there's so many sort of plates to juggle.
Yeah.
And it's prompts around those particular topics that's the key one for you, is it?
Definitely. Within that first year, I just kept finding more and more, okay, there's a lot going on. Obviously a first time mum, I didn't know really what I was doing. And I just found that AI was very useful for that. So yeah, it really just, grew from there.
And getting back to work, because we've seen that at Are Agentic. We were speaking to a lot of women who said, I've been out of work for a year or 18 months. I'm coming back and it's a completely different world. Like since AI has really taken off, 2022, they're coming back in now and gone, right, I need to really upskill myself. I need to have some skills. Have you heard that as well? Or?
Yeah, I think it's almost while you're on maternity leave, you're really focused on that time. And then it's only when your maternity leave's coming to an end, you're suddenly thinking, okay, I've got to get back into the workplace. What can I do to help me? Also, I see a lot of mums using AI to write their flexible work requests. So that's a big one. And really, it's a very important letter that you're going to be writing to work if you do want to change your hours. So having AI to help you with that. And then once they get back into the workplace, then they're seeing, as you say, that everything is changed from how they were doing things before. There may be new tools that they need to know how to use. So having the fundamental foundations that they've already been using AI as part of their day-to-day, it becomes much more seamless to then integrate back into the workplace.
So what's the tip to write to your boss around flexible work? Like how do you position that? How has Chat been helping with that?
Yeah, so and the best thing about it is that ChatGPT can really just take on all of your individual circumstances. So you can put in exactly what you want in terms of the hours you want to work. If you know your management have a particular thing that they're trying to go after, you can put in all that information into ChatGPT and really feed it so it's personal to you, and that's the best thing.
Okay.
And I would say as the tip to put in as much information as you possibly can.
Context. I guess what are the top use cases, top AI for mum tips that you've got, if you were to boil it down into a handful?
Yeah. I see a lot of mums asking for help with meal planning.
Okay.
Because
I've just
it's
started doing that, actually.
really
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely ask AI, because it's one of those jobs that you've got to do it every single week.
It is
And
a chore.
yeah, it's not my favorite job, to be honest. So having AI to be able to help with that, and you can start as simple as putting into ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever your preferred chatbot is, to say, help me create a meal plan. I always say when you're writing a prompt, try and give it as much information as possible. So you're telling it exactly what you want, the detail in terms of how many people there are in your family, if there's any dietary requirements, budget, and then like even the format that you want that information back in, include all of that in the prompt. And it just makes meal planning so much easier. But I have actually got a fully automated meal planner coming soon. So that's something that I've been working on.
Was that GPT or?
It is, but it
Yeah.
combines with a couple of other tools.
Oh,
I'm not
nice.
going to spoil the surprise,
Okay.
but it then just takes absolutely everything away from the mum in terms of having to do that task. It's going to remember what your favorites are. It's going to remember, okay, in your family, your child doesn't like this at the minute. It may change later.
Yeah.
And then format that to you in the easiest possible way. So it's just so easy. You just then take it to the shop or online shop, and just takes all that, the effort away from planning.
I mean, this whole topic of AI and women, it's become close to us as well. Like, I was looking into demographics of AI adoption. The reason this topic came up for me was I was looking at demographics across different countries to countries. I was looking at age groups. And then one of the data points was like women being behind the men on adopting AI. I think it was like 22% behind men.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been my experience. I'd worked for a female CEO, 50% of the company were women. And yeah, I never realized it myself, but the data's there to sort of say that women are behind. And I was looking into why, because I genuinely was curious. I was like, I had no idea why women are behind.
Yeah.
But there were things like women are think it's more likely that they're cheating. They feel like they're cheating by using AI. And it's more a lot of psychological reasons. Like, have you looked into that sort of topic and why?
So it's interesting. I think even when women apply for jobs, they're more likely to apply for the job if they can tick absolutely every single box, rather than when a man applies for a job. If he can tick the majority, then he'll apply and he'll almost just talk through the rest that he's done it already. But so I understand that, but I do think things are changing. So in June of this year, it was the first time that there was more weekly active users on ChatGPT that were females than male. And I do see that it's almost like the tide is turning, and women are now realizing just how helpful AI can be, but also the range of tools out there. And I think maybe at the beginning, it was potentially seen as a bit of a fad and that may go away, but it's definitely not going away. And I think just in terms of the job landscape, women's jobs are definitely more susceptible to be impacted by AI. We've seen that in a number of studies. And that's because they're more likely to be in administrative-based roles. So the roles, customer service, healthcare, teaching, that have quite a lot of repetitive elements to them. And that can just be automated. So they're more likely to be impacted. So I would say it's definitely more important for women to upskill on AI so they can move into different roles, but also then just have one step up in terms of, okay, I know how to manage all of these tools and I can take more of a managerial approach to it to kind of future-proof their careers.
So as a mum, maybe 2-3 months out of coming back into the workforce, back from maternity leave, no AI skills at all, like what tips would you give them to start acquiring them and then being ready for, day one back at work? What would you say?
I would say start small. So definitely try to think about what you can do within your own home life first, and try out all the chatbots. Try out ChatGPT, try out Gemini and Claude, and even test them. I like doing this anyway. So test the same prompt in the different chatbots, see the responses. What do you prefer? Just having that and knowing exactly what the response is likely to be can just build your confidence anyway. So you're not walking in completely new to AI. And then once you've used those a couple of times, you can just build upon the foundations of that and build your confidence. So finding other tools that work well for you, whether that be something like Notion that's got lots of AI built into it. There's a tool that I absolutely love called Goblin tools, and they've got they've got a to-do list that is great for mums, but actually also if you're neurodiverse and stuff ADHD, you can put in your to-do list, and if it's really overwhelming, you can break it down further, and the AI within that will break it into smaller steps, so it's not so overwhelming when you're looking at your list, and you get the buzz of ticking things off much quicker, but you're also then really taking a step and breaking things down, but achieving what you're kind of setting out to do.
So I guess it's not learning AI skills for the sake of learning AI skills to go back into work. It's like, how can I apply this in a practical way? And then the light bulb goes off, doesn't it? It's like, like it did with you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can just see, okay, this is bringing real value to me. This is saving me time. And you've got that foundation then to build upon. Yeah.
What about, I think you touched on a few of the tools, but like top 3 tools that you use, technologies?
It kind of varies, actually. My home life, I'm a big fan of all of the chatbots, but ChatGPT in particular, I use a lot.
Okay.
And then I have Notion to build out just like in terms of my family calendar, things like that are in there. I also have a lot of uses for AI in my kind of work life as well. So I use Descript for a lot of my long form video editing, and that's speeding up editing for me. So that's great. And then I also have, as I said, like Goblin tools, anything I can use and that really kind of brings value. I actually have Memorae, I don't know if you've heard of that, which sits within WhatsApp. So it's a great tool to use in terms of when I'm on the go, I can voice note into Memorae in WhatsApp, and it will then save things for later. So if I'm doing loads of things and something's popped into my mind, and I think I don't have time for that right now, I could say, remind me about that at 8 p.m. or add this to my list, and I can then look at that later. So it's almost, you're just getting things out of your head into into Memorae, and it can
Seems
just
like that's a theme of just like freeing up your mind somewhat, like that mental load of everything in life, whether it's work or home, and just freeing that up, and like AI is there to take those chores, take that work off your plate. What about any strange use cases? So my business partner, they were talking about WhatsApp. He uploaded his entire WhatsApp history of a conversation between him and his wife.
Yeah.
And asked it questions.
Dangerous.
Yeah. I think didn't share it with the training of the model, but just asked it questions like, give us a summary of like our relationship. And it was just amazing. He said, I didn't get into it, but he said it was amazing. He said it knew our love language, it knew who was right in certain instances and who like did certain tasks. It just summarized it really well. I just thought that was a unusual use of AI, but have you come across anything else?
So actually there was a trend about 6 months ago to take pictures or photos that you've got of your children and put them into ChatGPT and make colouring pages out of that. And I actually said, don't use it for that, because I don't agree that you should put pictures of your children into ChatGPT.
The cat, the dog?
And I went around and I had my daughter's little bunny, took some pictures while we were out, and again, made colouring pages out of that. So it's just another kind of little activity for her, but it's, without getting into the safety element of AI and all the protection of do not put pictures of children into AI. But so it's just a bit of fun.
One.
Yeah.
That one. What about any sort of myths around AI that you're seeing? Like anyone that just coming into the topic new and just had complete myths, misconceptions around AI that you've helped sort of blow away?
Yeah. I think the big one, as I mentioned earlier, is around thinking that AI is just a bit of a fad and that it will go away, and that it's only good for work and not for anything personal. And I think as people are using more of the tools and adapting and using it for different cases and just having a bit of play around with it, I think people are realizing absolutely not. It can be useful for so many different things.
Nice. And the women that are sort of reaching out to you, are they typically in work or in motherhood full time? Like, what's the demographic for who you're talking to?
So it's actually a bit of a split. So it's either they're still on maternity leave and they're in their first year, or they have gone back to work and they're working mums, and that could be at any age range. So to be honest, it's such a broad range, but they're all mums. They're all trying to find ways to help them to relieve some of that mental load that every mum carries around all the time.
And what's the plans for the channel next year, content wise? What are you thinking of producing more of or less of? What are you thinking next year?
So definitely more prompts, because I know that the mums love prompts. Anything that can help them in terms of anything seasonal going on. So Christmas, I just released a whole set of Christmas prompts because there's so much going on for a mum at that stage to create all the magic. So in the new year, it'll be more of that, but also then just really kind of diving into a bit more of the education of AI as well. As we were saying, it's so important that mums and women are upskilling on AI and they know the fundamentals. So they have a foundational level of understanding. That is so important. And then also just keeping up the message of AI safety, how you should use it, how you shouldn't, don't put your personal information into it. So it's a continuation of that, but just showing mums what more they could be doing, what tools are out there. And there's always new AI tools that are being released and new versions of ChatGPT and Gemini that are being released. There's so much to continually talk about.
Yeah, that's what I find is that I'm in AI and immerse myself in it all the time because of We Are Agentic, but it's a full-time job to stay abreast of everything that's changing. How do you stay current and knowledgeable about like the latest, greatest in AI? Like, how do you do it personally?
As you say, it's quite difficult, but it's just, I get a daily update, again, automated into my inbox, which I read in the morning to pick out all the key articles that are the new releases from ChatGPT, for example. But then also I share that weekly with mums. So I kind of summarize and I pick out the key stories that I know that mums are going to be interested in or that impacts them particularly. And I kind of go through and just say, these are the stories you need to know this week. But as you say, it's difficult and every platform has a slightly different way of doing things. So kind of staying up to date is hard, but I still enjoy learning about everything that's coming with AI.
So interesting. Have you seen some women kind of go through the journey? Like they've come to you and maybe just started following you and never touched AI and giving you feedback and then gone and done something interesting or given you feedback on where it's applied in their life? Like, have you got any?
Yeah. So actually when I first started, I had a couple of mums to reach out and said to me, they didn't actually know how to even get on to ChatGPT. Was it an app? Is it a web page? I have no idea. So I talked them through it as well. And I sent very detailed, okay, you can either get the app, you can go on the website. And then from that, they used the prompts and they came back and said that these are amazing. These are changing so much for me. So getting that immediate feedback is always good.
Right. So Paige, what about the misunderstandings around AI? Like women, they're getting and actually starting to learn AI, like where are people going wrong? And what are the misunderstandings you're seeing?
So I think there's maybe pressure and the misunderstanding that you need to know everything about AI from the beginning. I think you can start slow, definitely, and just pick a few tools and play around with those. And even start to integrate some AI and automation into your home life as well. I think that's a really good way of starting and just say, okay, I'm going to test out a few prompts today. I'm going to see what automation I can bring into my house and making sure that like the systems that you are bringing into your house are actually going to add value and save you time rather than bringing it in because it either looks fancy or you've heard good things.
So I think one of the misconceptions we see is that you've got to be really technical.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to do some programming before or be good with computers. But like prompting and creating AI agents, for example, it isn't as hard as it looks, right? It's just using natural language. Are you seeing that barrier just being overcome quite easily from women? And what's that?
I think so. When they're actually taking the next step and as you say, like creating agents, I think people think that's very advanced. As you say, you can do it with natural language. So it doesn't have to be as it maybe once was, so you'd have to code everything and it would take hours. Now you can do it so quickly. just by making sure that you know exactly what you want the AI to do and the benefit that you want it to bring, you can ask it to do that and set it up to really just be such a useful tool that you can actually use every day if there's something that you need.
Exactly. What about skills? Like there's not necessarily technical skills, but generally skills alongside learning AI. Is there anything that's particularly important, in this new era of using AI?
I would definitely say critical thinking, because as we see with AI, it will often have a bias towards what you're saying or tell you and inflate your ego and say everything that you've said is absolutely amazing. Whereas taking a step back and being critical and thinking, actually, maybe I should have asked that in a slightly different way. I might have got a different response. Or should I have included and asked for more sources, for example, if you're doing some research? And I think that's really important as well for parents, not just mums, but parents, teaching our children that is an important skill to know when they're using AI, to not take everything at face value and to really kind of question everything you're being told, because AI doesn't always know best.
No, and it tells you you're great at everything, like you say. And that's the massive danger, because you can, especially as a business owner, I'm coming up with some ideas, like, what do you think to this strategy? Great idea, Sam, amazing. Really dangerous on that side of things, because like any tips on how to keep it a little bit more balanced and sort of maybe critique you? Any sort of like prompts that you would use to help with that?
I would always just add on to a prompt, as you say, like critically assess.
Yeah.
Give me the pros and cons of what I'm asking you, and even say, tell me if I'm wrong, or tell me if there's a different way to do this that I might not necessarily know. You can also change the settings within ChatGPT in terms of the tone that you're getting the responses back in. So I have actually changed mine recently, because you can get a false sense of security if you're always being told what you're saying is correct. So that's another tip.
Okay. What about next year? Like, what about what you're seeing in the AI space? Like, what do you think? Where's it all going? Like, what do you think? What are you excited about, first of all?
I think actually I'm excited about the home tech that's coming in. Love to see all the advances and things that are genuinely going to make
robotics.
A mum's life easier, but also like it sounds ridiculous, but even a system that knows your routine, that can adapt to what you're doing. And the simple things, I always say the simple things are the most effective. So for us, we have a baby monitor, but it knows the routine. So it knows when to turn the white noise on. I don't have to think about that. And just those simple things really do make a big difference to a mum's mental load, and also just saving time. You don't have to think about it. It's one less thing on your plate.
Yeah. If you could take one use of AI that's just your favorite, you couldn't live without now, is there one?
I just think ChatGPT, Gemini, they are great tools to have, and just bouncing ideas off them. I think it has opened up a whole new world of possibility, and that, be it whether you're just going about your day-to-day life and you need some help with that, if you're starting a business, you need some advice, like anything is now possible because you can access absolutely anything.
Well, if you were to try and like quantify how it's benefited you, like whether it's time saving or you've been able to do more something, like where do you see the value to you in your experience?
I would say mostly time saving, and honestly saving hours every week.
Like how many do you reckon?
On average, so previously I was saying about 5 hours a week, but I think it's more like 8.
Yeah.
Plus.
So a day, like a day's work.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think like the mental load, which you can't really quantify, but it's a feeling. So when I first used AI and I typed in that prompt and I said like summarize all of the information about colic, and it found everything within seconds, it was almost like you could feel the weight lifting off me in terms of like, this is going to help so much, and other mums need to know about it.
Yeah, I mean, that one use case, essentially, that quantifying that, it's like hours of reading across different sources, and it's just compiling it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can vary, I suppose. It's like average 5-8 hours a week, but it could be in some instances like days of effort that's been saved.
Exactly. Yeah, it depends what you're doing. For instance, if you're starting a business, all the new tools that are out there, definitely hours, days. Absolutely.
Okay. Paige, it's been brilliant. Thank you very much for this. Where can people find you, whether it's TikTok, LinkedIn? Where are you?
Absolutely. So Instagram is my main platform. So at Paige Els, and that's where I share all of my tips for mums. I'm at Paige Els on TikTok and YouTube as well. So they're my main platforms, and go and search those, and you can find everything that I'm sharing every day.
Amazing. I think you'll see some new followers crop up.
It's been wonderful to chat to you.
No worries. Thank you.